Joseph in prison. The early morning light filtered through high windows into the quiet corridor of Pharaoh's prison, where Joseph lived. His days passed in gloom and uncertainty behind cold walls, while he maintained the duties assigned to him by the captain of the guard. Though he bore the wounds of betrayal and loss, his spirit remained anchored in faith. The Lord was with Joseph. This simple truth resonated in every task he performed. Those who oversaw the dungeon saw his integrity and the peace that radiated from him. He became a model of hope in a place of despair. Time moved slowly until one day, Joseph's solitude was broken by the arrival of two officials from Pharaoh's court. The chief cupbearer and the chief baker had fallen out of royal favor and were locked away in the same prison. Both men had shared duties that required immense trust. The cupbearer tasted wine before it reached the king to guard against poison. The baker ensured the king's daily nourishment. Their slipping from favor had placed them in confinement under Joseph's care. The morning they arrived, Joseph noticed their despair and sorrow etched on their faces. He asked gently what burdened their hearts. Their answer came quietly. They had each dreamed, but had no one to explain the meaning of the dreams. Joseph's words stood out in the silence. "Interpretations do not belong to me," he said. Instead, he asked softly, "Tell me your dreams." He recognized that the power to reveal meaning belonged to God. The cupbearer recounted his vision first. He described a vine emerging before him, sprouting 3 branches that budded blossoms and produced grapes. He picked the fruit and pressed the juice into Pharaoh's cup and handed it back to him. Joseph listened, then delivered a message of hope. Within 3 days, Pharaoh would restore him to his position and place the cup again in his hand. It was an encouraging promise with an unexpected appeal. Joseph asked gently that when all went well, the cupbearer would show him kindness, mention him to Pharaoh, and secure his release. He reminded them that he had been taken by force from the land of the Hebrews, had done nothing to deserve prison. The baker's dream came next. He described 3 baskets of baked goods on his head. The top basket held food for Pharaoh, but birds swooped and ate from it. Joseph interpreted the stark outcome. Within 3 days, Pharaoh would lift off his head and hang him on a pole, and the birds would feast on his flesh. The 2 men awoke from the dream. The 3rd day aligned with Pharaoh's birthday. The cupbearer was restored to his position, just as Joseph had said. The baker was hanged, as predicted. The realization should have sent Joseph to freedom, but the cupbearer forgot to speak on his behalf, and Joseph remained chained behind walls. In the quiet hours, Joseph pressed forward with trust. God's timing was not aligned with his pain. His faith did not depend on human memory, but on divine promise. He awaited the day when his release would come, not through fortune, but through God's arrangement. Meanwhile, in distant Canaan, his father Jacob feared accusations that Joseph was dead and mourned deeply. The years blended into decades. Pharaoh's dreams followed but are part of the next chapter. Joseph's days in prison taught him empathy, leadership, and unwavering hope. He became not just a prisoner, but a guide to other suffering souls. He understood what it was to dream without release, to long for home without a path to return. That life in prison was more than confinement. It was a forge where his character was refined and his patience polished. Every task he performed, the guard he served, and the prisoners he comforted were pieces in a divine tapestry being woven. Joseph lived in a place meant to end lives, but he chose to let it build character. The same platform that confined him would become the stage where he would display God's love for his people. When that day finally came, and the cupbearer remembered Joseph, Pharaoh's call lifted him from the dungeon. He stepped from darkness to divine favor, onto a path that would change Egypt and save his family. But none of that would have been possible without those years in prison. They taught him that God's promise persists in silence and solitude. His story remains a testament to the truth that sometimes the road to prominence begins behind bars.